Hi, welcome to another episode of Nick's Nerd Network. This is going to be our talking about Generation 1 Pokemon that I have strong feelings about. Part 2. So if you haven't seen my previous video, please check in the link below in the comments section. There'll be a link to that video, and you can see how I feel about some of these other Kanto Pokemon. Alright, let's get started. Oh my gosh, let's talk about Charizard. Charizard is probably one of the first Pokemon that most people think of when they talk about or reminisce about their old days playing Pokemon, or even still, he's one of the most popular Pokemon of all times. For me, my story about Charizard is, and why he's so impactful, when I was collecting the Pokemon cards way back when in, I don't want to say how long, but I mean, you know. One of the very first, I actually think it might have been the very first packet of Pokemon cards I ever actually bought, was a holographic Charizard inside. And I was so excited. My friends were so jealous because until then my parents wouldn't buy me Pokemon cards. And that's one of the cards I wanted so bad. And to get one on one of my first packs was amazing. It was shiny. People were trying to sell or buy it from me on the bus, and I just never gave it up. Now I do wish I'd have kept it in better condition. I didn't put it in any sort of sleeve. It's still in pretty okay shape, but you know, when you shuffle it and you're trying to play the game, it can be a little bit rough on them. But I had one of the best cards, at least perceived by everyone else out there, and it was amazing. I felt like a boss. Now, another Pokemon that I love to death, and it's not just a singular Pokemon, it's the entire evolutionary line, and that is the Nidoran line. So I'm talking about my Nidorans, boys and girls. I'm talking about my Nidorinas, my Nidorinos, my kings and my queens. They're just such special Pokemon to me, and I don't really know why. I think that just visually, that's just like the essence of what I think a Pokemon should look like. And I've kind of been disappointed with some of the future Pokemon designs. I mean, I'm not one of those Gen 1ers who hates all other future Pokemon, but I just felt like there was something magical about this design. And there's a lot of what you see in the Nidoran line that you see translate into other Pokemon Gen 1. Like the similarities between the spots of like other poison types having similarities to that Nidorina look. Talking about like those bigger, bulkier Pokemon, like really tiny cute things turning into monsters. It's just so great. I love them. And I also used to think about all the time as raising one of each. And I always wish that I had the option when you're in Cerulean City to join Team Rocket. I could have been the next Giovanni protege. You don't know? I wanted to join Team Rocket. I could have been way better at stealing Pokemon. I would have got Pikachu on the first try. Not that I'd want one. Because, you know, we've talked about that. Now, one of my top 2 favorite Pokemon of all time is Starmie. Now, a lot of people might not think a lot about Starmie, but what I love about Starmie, I didn't discover really my love of Starmie until probably around Generation 4 when I started battling some of my college friends competitively. And what I loved about Starmie is it was fast, it had high special attack, and you could teach it a huge variety of types of move. I would always name my Starmie Pandora because fighting it was opening like a Pandora's box of who knows what. Like I could have an electric move, an ice move, a psychic move. I believe it could learn Shadow Ball. It could have learned some rock moves, water moves, like anything you could really think of. There was so much it could learn, and it could learn Recover. It was just a really competitive battle in some of those earlier Pokemon generations. Now, it doesn't stand up so well against the test of time now. There's a lot of more quick Pokemon with a higher punch or impact rate, but Starmie is always going to hold a special place in my heart. I also loved Starmie because it was one of Misty's Pokemon in the original Pokemon anime, and I love Misty. She was the only one that could call anyone out on their bullshit. She didn't fall for most of the traps. She had a lot of common sense, and I thought she was a great character, and she had great Pokemon. Now, this is the only legendary Pokemon on my list, and it is Articuno. Now, I have a lot of feelings about Articuno. It is such a beautiful, majestic beast of a Pokemon that anyone would want to catch. And it's just so beautiful. Now, one of the reasons I also have strong feelings about it was it was one of the only legendary birds that I did not catch in my original game. I was able to catch the other ones, but it was the first one that I came across and the first legendary Pokemon I ever came across. And I didn't realize you only got one chance at battling it, so I defeated it by accident. I had saved my game, and it was gone forever. And the thing that added a little bit of extra salt in my wounds was my younger brother who, let's see, would have been in second, maybe third grade at the time that we got our Pokemon games. He actually did catch it with the help of my cousin, who helped him a lot in those games, especially early on. I mean, I guess he was younger or whatever. But he did catch it. And then the salt in the wound was walking by his second or third grade classroom when I was in elementary school as well, and seeing that they'd written like different stories and posted them up in the wall, and he wrote how he was better than his brother at playing Pokemon and that he caught Articuno and I didn't, and it was just so great. It just, how embarrassing. I mean, your brother, little brother in elementary school who doesn't even take Pokemon, that's seriously making you look like a noob for one of your favorite Pokemon that you wanted to catch. I mean, I'm Team Mystic, and I couldn't even catch an Articuno. Yeah. Salty? Yeah. 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 Now, this is kind of a broader category, and it is Pokemon that require you to trade to evolve them. Now, I have strong feelings about this, and I'm talking about you. Alakazam, Gengar, Machamp, Golem. I am calling you out because I was so frustrated in the games because I was just leveling up my Graveler and my Kadabra and leveling them up, and they never evolved. And you have to remember, at this time, there wasn't a lot of internet resources online, or at least me being a young kid, I wasn't allowed to have a lot of unrestricted computer access to just look up whatever I wanted. So I didn't know that I needed to trade them to evolve them. My brother was in the same boat. He was raising his Haunter, and it just wouldn't evolve. It wouldn't evolve. We kept raising it higher and higher. And they were probably to level, like, mid-60s before we realized this. So it was so frustrating. Like, how would you think of doing that? And if the Pokemon were real, would you want the only way you can evolve your Pokemon to its full potential is by giving it away? And you also run the risk of like, oh, hey, buddy, let's trade Pokemon. I trust you that you'll give me my Pokemon back. And then they just decide not to. There's a lot of risk with this. That's irresponsible. Why would I want to trade my friends away? If Pokemon were real. They're not my friends. I mean, they're pretty cute, but you know. But yeah, trade Pokemon are the worst. Now, another of my top 2 favorite Pokemon of all time is Gyarados, and it's kind of the same reasons, some of the same reasons as Starmie. It could learn a large variety of attack moves, and it was pretty quick and had a high attack power. It was super great because it was a flying type as well, so it gave it a lot of advantages. It made it unsusceptible to water type moves. It was just really, really strong. Unless you had an electric Pokemon or a really, really fast rock type Pokemon, it was pretty much invincible. I mean, it did require a lot of work to evolve that oh-so-lovable Magikarp into a Gyarados, but it's such a beautiful design. And like I've said in past videos, that shiny Gyarados was my first shiny Pokemon. I mean, it's everyone's first shiny Pokemon, but it's just such a cool, strong Pokemon. And I love the storyline behind Gyarados because you have to work so painstakingly hard, especially in the earlier games. If you didn't have an experience share, you don't get that very early on to raise one. But once you got it, I mean, usually by Silurian City, you could get one evolved by then. And, oh, boy, was it a powerhouse. Time for another Who's That Waste of Space? And today's nominee is Lickitung. And much like previous entries, Lickitung also got a evolution in later generations that somehow made it less popular. This Pokemon, I really don't know what their intent was. I mean, the biggest thing it ever did was become a meme with Jessie and inappropriate sexual innuendos. I feel like that had to have been planned, if not just really unfortunate planning on the anime part. But let's be real, anime loves those kinds of GIF type moments of people, I don't know, just putting themselves in really unflattering positions and sexual positions. And it's like, oh, whoops, unintentional. But yeah, Lickitung was one of those Pokemon that I don't think I ever raised. I remember I honestly didn't even know it existed for a long period of time. I mean, it looks kind of cute, but otherwise I think if it just disappeared, I don't think anyone would notice. Alright, that's the end of part 2 of this video, talking about the Generation 1 Pokemon that I have strong feelings about. So, if you want to check out other videos similar to this, please check out the comments section below, or the more information section, and we'll link you to one of my other videos. And if you like what you saw here today, please like and subscribe. Hi, if you like this episode of Nick's Nerd Network, please like and subscribe, or visit our new channel. And when you're on the new channel, check out my new banner. That was made by my friend Jesse. Please check out his website. He's really talented, and I'll leave the link in the description. He's great for all of your graphic design needs.